Hey, welcome to week 1, day 4. Today's the day you get to smash some stuff. So you have 2 assignments today. The first assignment is for you to create your performance art video. So 2 days ago, you made a little object out of clay. It could be any object that you wanted to. And I'm asking you today to come up with a creative way to destroy that object. And I will show you a couple examples in a moment. So your first part of this assignment is just to plan how you're going to destroy that object and record the destruction of that object, because your assignment for today is to create a video, a performance art video. Keep in mind 2 things as you are prepping and then recording this video. First, you will have to clean up any mess that you make. And second, the broken pieces after you destroy that object, you have to keep those broken pieces because that's how you're going to make slip. You're going to collect those broken pieces and then you're going to slake them down to create slip. That's kind of the whole point of why we're doing this. So in the video, I want you to explain what you made, what is your object, why you chose to make it, and why you chose to destroy it that way. You can explain this verbally in the video if you're just recording a regular video with your phone or your Chromebook. If you are recording a time-lapse video or a slow motion video, you won't be able to record sound in that video. And so then when you submit your video, do a second submission where you type in the explanation. I created a blank. I made this because blank. I destroyed it by blank because blank. So just give me some information, some insight about what I'm looking at in your video. You yourself do not have to be in the video. You can have a sibling be in the video. You can have your pet be in the video. You can have your parents be in the video. And you can be in the video too, but you don't have to be. There don't have to be any humans in the video. You can just record the destruction of your object and you can be off camera. When you're done recording your video, make sure you collect all the broken bits that you destroyed, put them in the plastic lidded container that I gave you in your swag bag. It's probably a yogurt container or something like that. Put all those broken pieces in that plastic container and then put warm water in that plastic container just until your pieces are barely covered up. This is going to allow your clay pieces to slake and to melt down and become slip. So let them slake for about 20 minutes in your slip container, or let them slake until tomorrow. That's fine too. But then after they've had time to slake, put the lid on your plastic container, wrap it in your towel because I don't trust that your containers are watertight, and then shake it up really well so that you're mixing the slaked clay to make some good slip for yourself, okay? So that is assignment number 1 today, and I'm going to show you a couple examples of how you possibly could record and destroy your object. So this is one example. This is a little tower that I made out of clay, and I chose to destroy it by letting the tower melt into water in my slip container. So it's kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone. It's destroying the tower, and it's also slaking my clay all in one step. So my reasoning for making this is this reminds me of the lost city of Atlantis before it sunk into the ocean, or as it sunk into the ocean, or it possibly could also symbolize what's going to happen to our coastal cities around the world as sea level rises due to global warming. So here is my performance video. So look down at the bottom. You can see the dry clay is slaking and disintegrating, and eventually the whole tower just slowly sinks into the water. Now this took a really long time. I'll be honest with you, this took about an hour to slake down all the way, which made it for a really long video. It took up a lot of space on my phone, so I had to delete it as soon as I had uploaded it. The time lapse is only 38 seconds, so that's not so long, but just realize if you're doing a time lapse, it might be a pretty big file. And instead of being able to upload it to Schoology, if it's too big of a file, you might need to email it to me. And I'll include my email in the assignment that I post on Schoology later. Here's another way that you could go about doing this project. So for these objects, I made squirrels, and I chose to smash them with my fist because the stupid squirrels at my house are very aggressive and keep chewing their way into our garbage cans to eat our garbage. They are very dumb. So here is my destruction performance art video for squirrels. So I just smashed these guys with my fist, and I did it on my towel so that cleanup would be really easy. All I had to do was pick up my towel and then dump the pieces into my plastic container. And then I'm going to add my water so that the pieces can begin slaking and making slip. So you do not have to show me the cleanup and the slaking in your video. You can, but it's not a requirement. All I really want to see is the destruction and have some sort of explanation about why that object was made, what it means to you, and why you chose to destroy it in that way. So again, just to reiterate, make sure that you upload this video to Schoology by 10 p.m. tonight for 20 points. Even more important, make sure that if you make a mess when you destroy your object, you clean it up really well so your parents will not be mad at you and your parents will not be mad at me. I actually emailed all the parents last night to warn them that you would be doing this so that they could touch base with you and make sure that you're doing it in a safe way and to check up and make sure that things have been cleaned up. So I'm just covering all my bases there. So that's assignment number 1, record a video and an explanation of you destroying your object and creating a performance art video. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to create some tiles. This has nothing to do with the first assignment. This is prep work for something we're going to do tomorrow. So I want you to make sure you write down these steps in your notebook if you're not going to be doing it right this very second. So first, you're going to take your block of clay and cut a 1/2-inch thick slab from your block of clay that's in your bag. And it can be approximate. If it's not exactly a 1/2 inch thick, it's fine. Then wedge it on your wedging cloth and roll it into a 1/4 of an inch thick slab. And you can roll it with your rolling pin if you got one. Not everybody got one. Or you can make a slab by throwing your clay diagonally, and I'll show you that in the demo. Then you're going to find a cup, and you do have a red Solo cup in your swag bag. Don't use that. That kind of cup is not strong enough to do the kind of cutting that we're going to do. So it's going to have to be a cup from your house. So look and find either a really strong plastic cup or a glass or a mug or something, and then bring that to your home studio. And you're going to use it like a cookie cutter. So you're going to cut out circles from your slab that you've made, but don't just take that cup and cut right into your slab, because the little cookie that you make is going to get stuck inside the cup. So here is a brilliant trick that I used, that I learned a few years ago. If you take a plastic bag and lay that plastic bag over the slab that you've rolled, take your cup and cut through the plastic bag. So the cup is still going to go through the plastic bag and it's going to cut out your circle from your slab of clay, but the plastic bag will keep that little circle of clay from getting stuck in the cup. And additionally, not only does it not let the little cookie get stuck in the cup, it also gives the little cookie that you've made a round pillow-like edge. So it's actually a better looking cutout than if you had just cut it out the regular way. So I'm going to demonstrate what that looks like in the demo so that you can understand what I'm talking about, if that doesn't make sense to you. If you have a big cup that you're using to cut out your shapes, then you really only need to make 2. If you have a smaller cup, maybe make 3 or 4. In my picture, I have big and small. It's really up to you. If you end up making big ones, you could turn them into coasters that you could use to put a cup on so that it doesn't ruin your table. If you end up making small ones, you can turn these into magnets. I have some really heavy-duty magnets that you can glue on the back of your tiles once they're glazed, and then you can use them as magnets. It's really up to you whether you do big or small, but just make sure you're doing a few of them, because these are what we're going to use to test out your tools that you made yesterday, the popsicle sticks. But we're not going to do the testing today because your clay is too soft today. So you'll do the design work tomorrow. So when you're done making your tiles, you do not have to take a picture of this part of the assignment. You're going to submit your video today, but you do not have to submit a picture of these tiles. So just place them on your wood tray, which is in your swag bag, and then bag them up for tomorrow so that they can get leather hard for tomorrow. Do not let them dry out. You won't be able to do anything with them if you let them dry out. So just to recap what you're doing today, so it's like a little extra reminder. First assignment is to record a video of you destroying your clay object and provide some kind of description and explanation of what is happening in the video. Secondly, pick up all the pieces that you destroyed, put them in your plastic container, add water, and make slip. Third thing you're going to do is make 3 or 4 small tiles or 2 large tiles and bag them up until tomorrow. Okay, that's today in a nutshell. Okay, so to make the tiles, you are going to cut about a 1/2 inch of clay off the top of your block of clay. Wedge it. My clay today is really, really wet. So I'm going to wedge it for kind of an extra long amount of time to dry it out a little bit. Oh, forgot to cover that. I'll put the twist tie on that in a little bit. I'm going to eventually have extra clay here that'll go back in my bag. So I'm just trying to wedge it extra. I'm going to pre-flatten my clay. You might have a rolling pin that looks like a dowel. It might be plastic, it might be wood, and you can use that to roll and flatten out your slab if you want. If you do that, just turn the direction, then roll, and then turn the direction, and then roll. Or if you have your own rolling pin at home that your parents will let you use, that's fine too. But here's another way that you can do it, because not everybody has a rolling pin. I ran out when I was handing them out. So you could also take your slab of clay and you can throw it diagonally away from yourself. And whatever end is facing forward as you throw it away from yourself, that edge will stretch. So I'm going to throw this edge away from me, and it's stretched in that direction. And now I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to change the edge that's facing forward, and it's stretched in that direction. And I'm going to keep picking it up and throwing it with a different edge facing forward until it's pretty evenly 1/4 of an inch thick. So this is a little thicker right there. I'm just going to maybe roll that part a little bit thinner, but it's generally about 1/2 an inch thick. Or sorry, 1/4 of an inch thick. So now here's what I was talking about with the plastic bag. I'm going to take my plastic bag and I'm just going to put 1 thickness, like 1 ply of plastic over that slab. If I put it like this, then I would have 2 layers of plastic, and that's kind of thicker than I want it to be. So I just want 1 layer of plastic. And then I found this kind of heavy-duty plastic cup. Remember, don't use the solo cup that I gave you. We're going to use that for something different, and it won't be strong enough to do what we need it to do. So I'm going to take this cup and I'm going to cut through the plastic bag. And I don't know if you can see that. See how it is kind of like rounded, like it's a rounded shape. So when I peel the plastic off, I have this really nice pillow edge on my tile, and it didn't get stuck. It didn't get stuck in the cup. So I'm going to put that on my tray. And if I have a big cup, I just ask that you make 2 of these tiles. If you have a little thing, like here's a little cup that I found that might be used to make magnets, then I would ask that you do 3 or 4. So these are bigger ones that I could use as a coaster after it's been glazed. I'll make a couple little ones. So all this extra clay that comes from around your tiles, wedge that to bring it all nicely back together. Put it in your big bag of clay so that you can reuse it. All right, there's no sense of discarding clay that we could end up using for a later project. So make sure it goes back in here. And then all my little tiles that I made, they do have kind of a rough edge, but I'm going to fix that tomorrow when they're leather hard. So I'm going to put them on their tray. Don't these look like macarons? If I do like that, it's like a little macaroon. Oh my goodness, so cute. So then I'm going to just slide this whole tray into my bag and let it sit like this in my workspace till tomorrow, okay? So remember, with that assignment, the tile assignment, you don't have to submit a picture. The only assignment you're submitting today is the video of your performance art destruction of your object from 2 days ago, okay? Message me if you have any questions. Thanks.